Lord our God, have mercy on us and bless us as we come to a final moment in our discerning process that we have learned will never really be over. But for this season, this is where we are, and we thank you, we thank you, we thank you, we pray you help us. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. So this is one of the most, my wife will tell you, overwhelming moments of my time at Saint Barnabas, because you all have been remarkable in this response to our season of discernment. I just cannot say thank you enough for how you participated and how many hundreds of people participated and gave us hundreds of suggestions and thoughts and stories and comments. It's just been a remarkable time. And you saw me last week when I pitch hit for Erica. That was a good moment for me because I thought I was going to explode. And I needed to realize that I was that full, just that full. And so I need you to cut me a little slack this morning, and I need you to help me. Lots of vestry and staff are here, and I'll need you to feel free to say, hey, Jim, don't forget to say this, or Jim, remember we said we were going to say it that way, and anybody else, if you feel the need to help me, I'll be grateful for your help. I've written this out 3 times, and it's just the amount of that you gave us to collate that, to sift through it, and first of all, the vestry and staff met and really came to some wonderful decisions, but there's a lot there, and so for me to really know how to sequence it, to share it with you, and how to be clear is really important to me. So I want you to know I'm open to your help. I came to Saint Barnabas in February of 2004. Actually, you called me to ask me to be your rector in February, and I came in April. And we had this wonderful partnership from the beginning. We said we wanted to be a place of faith formation, of mission, and of outreach. And over the years, we changed the language of outreach to the language of mission. We want to be a place of faith formation and mission. And we also called that a place of spirituality and service. We said we wanted our community to grow, and to grow in every way. And we said we could only be as large as we can be small. Some of you may remember those days, and 9 years ago when we said all that. And the thing is, we became that place. We really became that church. And that's what you told us. More than anything, your comment said, we love our church. We love our church. It's a place of joy. It's a place of life. And we love it, and we're so grateful for it. And a lot of you would say things like, well, there is something I can tell you in which you disappointed me, but the only reason I'm telling you is because you asked me. Because I want you to know we love our church. And then you would tell us things we really needed to hear. And basically, I would say, we said we're a church of joyful imperfection. Yeah. And some mornings it's more joyful, and some mornings it's more imperfect, right? And you said, yes, we've become that church we imagined 9 years ago, but not yet. Because, Jim, what we really want, Vestry, what we really want is more. We want more of who we are. And too often we sign up for something and then we fall through the cracks. Too often we try to do something and it doesn't work out. Too often we come and say, what? That's already happened? And what you said was, we have a communication problem. Now, it's fascinating. Our vestry consultant, Tom Shank, and you all know my friend, he's been our consultant every year. At the vestry retreat, he said, by the way, I forget where he said this. You all help me. I think it was at the retreat. He said, he consults organizations all over North America, some in Europe actually, and he said every organization he goes into, they say, we have a communication problem around here. Every single one. That's what they say. And so they've learned, he said, first of all, he teaches companies what he calls the half-life of clarity. You get it, don't you? He said, we get together, we're all clear, we go out, something happens, 4 hours later we say, now what are we going to do? What's supposed to happen here? And what are you doing? And at a place like Saint Barnabas, you know, if you stop and think about it, we are a large organization. We have a small staff, but we have close to 1,700 members, somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 to 1,200 active members, and those active members are the workers, really, of the church. So we have the challenge to communicate effectively to something like easily 800 people every week. And we don't call you together in staff meetings. I mean, how do you do that? It's a monumental problem. So our consultant also said one of the things they do is they say to organizations, we've always had the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, and we've always had the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. At St. Barnabas, we call that the Director of Operations. Most of you know Ann Hott runs the place, right? You understand that. Our Director of Operations. And Tom said, we're saying to companies, you got to add a CCO, a Chief Communications Officer. Somebody in the company that knows everything and that everybody knows. Now, I took a big drink of water when he told me that, because I'm going to talk about finances before the morning is over, but we're challenged to just not to keep adding staff, not to keep adding positions and adding staff. I'm going to talk about that before it's over. But we sat with the staff and we said, no more are we going to say, I don't know. From here on out, the staff is going to be the CCO, the staff of St. Barnabas. We are committed to always getting you the answer for whatever you want. Now, that's just a starting place. I'm going to say some more about that. But we're committed. And by the way, I'm the chief offender. Don't raise your hand, please. But how many of you, if you've come to me and asked me a question, I go, I don't know. My job is not to know that stuff, right? Don't raise your hand, please. I know that's, I've trained myself not to know everything. However, all of us have committed. By the way, no staff member can know everything, but we're going to find out everything for you. We're going to be committed to that. But there's another piece to it. And that is the real next step for St. Barnabas is for us to be and become disciples. Now, I know we already are. But for us to say we want more of our church, that means we have to make that happen. It's us. I hope if you participated in this season of discernment at any level, you got inspired as you heard the stories and realized that the church we want is us. We're the ones that can make this a better place, make us more joyful, more the church we want to be. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is be a disciple, be powerful. Never be powerless. Never let no be your answer. Never let someone not calling you back and falling through the cracks be the end of anything. Meet us halfway. And this is exactly what our consultant says to organizations. He says to everybody, never not have what you need to do what it is you need to do. Can you hear me? I want to invite all of us to really grasp that you're the church. Right? You're the church. This is our church. And I want to urge us to feel powerful and to get what we need. Now, I want to say this is where sequencing is hard for me, but I want to, at that point, I want to draw us to what's our mission? Remember our mission. Now, life is unbelievably complex. Everywhere it's complex. And it's amazingly complex at Saint Barnabas. They gave me this to try. Let me see if I can do this. Is it still on? Do we know if it's on? Okay. We'll just stop. That's all right. So life here is complicated. It's one of I love it. Just like this. Right. Life here is complicated. And it's complex. And actually, we want that. That's part of what we say. Give us more church. We want more for our church. So what each of us needs to grasp is that I can't know everything that's going on in the church, but I can know what I need in my church. You understand that? So remember what our mission is. Our mission is to connect people to God in Christ. Our mission is to feel connected. And that feeling word is very important. So imagine for you what it takes for you to feel connected. Start there and I want to urge you, let that be a kind of, I want you to think about this, let that be a launch for you of a new kind of simplicity in the complexity. The world is not going to become less complex. And the church we're imagining, when I'm through this morning, you're going to hear me say, we're going to become more complex. But there is a way to transcend the complexity, not go around it, but in the complexity find simplicity. And that is to remember, how do you feel connected? And then go get that. Be powerful and go get what it takes for you to feel connected. Feel connected to God and feel connected to your church community. And never let anything get in the way. Don't ever by the way, when I say stuff like this, of course you're going to feel powerless at times. And you're going to feel like you don't have what you need. But when you remember, it's really simple. What do you need to feel connected? Then be powerful and go get that. And if you call me and I forget and I say I don't know, then ask Erica. If you call the office and somebody answers the phone and you ask a question and they go, I don't know, hang up and call back. Don't let us not give you what you need for you to feel connected. All right? I have to look at my notes now. So, Gary, Tom, what are the 3 words of real estate? Yes, location, location, location. I love it. The 3 words of the simplicity of the church are communicate, 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 connect, connect, connect. The first major response we're having to this communication challenge is we want to launch a whole new way of communicating through the internet. Now, I realize not everybody does the internet, so I'm going to help you with that. But part of what we realized is that there's lots of people who can't come to church as often as they came to church in the 50s and 60s. Right? I mean, in the 50s and 60s, they didn't have soccer and Little League on Sunday morning. The grocery stores weren't open on Sunday morning, right? And there weren't 2 working spouses. Or there weren't as many single spouse households. And so the reality is, again, life is complex, and it's just, there's just so much going on. And people are saying to us, Jim, we love our church, but we just can't be there every Sunday. And then life passes us by. The stuff at church passes us by. So what we hope to do is to launch a whole new communication strategy in which we will bring the church to you. So it's not location, location, location. Geography is going to become irrelevant for us. It's connect, connect, connect. And we're going to learn how to learn from you how you want us to connect to you with you. We're going to use text, email, blog, Twitter, Facebook page, website, every way we possibly can. And we're going to try to make it so interesting you just can't wait to get the next communication from us. Everything from 30-second videos to 50-word emails to 20-word texts to blogs. By the way, I understand I'm not everybody's priest. I understand some of you prefer Erica or Phil or Deborah, and that, by the way, that's a great thing. So what we're going to try to do is every priest and probably the program directors are going to begin to have their own blogs and their own way of taking the church to you. So let's just say you're a family with a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and one of them is playing Little League, and the other one is well, let's say it's a 3-year-old and they're still not potty trained. And you just can't get to, man, I remember, my wife will tell you, when our kids were young and I was working, I was in the room praying in my home office, saying my prayers and getting ready for church, and she was wrestling 3 little boys trying to get them dressed and out the door, right? Forgive me. But so what we want to be able to do is to put into your home what it takes for you to be a disciple, to disciple for yourself and for your children. We want to send you at a pace at which you tell us. How many of you do magazines online? And you know, when you sign up, they ask you what material you want, right? That's our vision, is to do that with you, and for you to say, we want text, not email. We want to be on your blog, etc. You'll tell us how we can reach out to you, and then we want to send the resources of discipleship to you. So again, back to that young family that can't be here every Sunday, we want to send you a 30-second video and a 40-word message that will help you do something with your children one night that week, where you can have church in your home right there with your kids. And we will give you activities and ways to share your faith with your children right there in your home. Also for others, or for people who want us to nurture them in a personal way, our intention is to send you the resources to have devotions, to say your prayers, to engage the scriptures, that we'll bring it to you. You don't have to come to us. Now, when I began thinking about this, by the way, it's based on all that you told us. It's also based on research, that this is what we need to be able to do. For those of you who were here Wednesday with our bishop is a huge part of what his presentation was for his Lenten program was how the church is behind. And just think about it for a moment. The church began, our tradition began with telling stories 3,000 years ago. Then we decided that we really need to write the stories down. Then in the Christian tradition, the monastic communities, one of the reasons they formed was to copy the scriptures. So they hand-copied the scriptures and would send them out, and then somebody else would get them and hand-copy them. Then radio came along, and then television came along, and then the internet came along, and now the smartphone has come along. And I spoke at this somewhere. I don't remember if it was a quiet day or a sermon, but 7 billion people and 1.5 billion smartphones, and soon there'll be 6 or 7 billion smartphones as the whole world is connected. We're going to put your church on your smartphone. We're going to put the resources for discipleship on your smartphone. And we're going to keep reaching out to you, connect, 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 so that you can feel connected and have this sense of simplicity in the midst of all the complexity. That's our intention. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you. When we first did this, I wanted to call it the local virtual church. And some young people said, eh. You know, if you say virtual, anybody under like 40 will just go, that's old language, don't do that. So then we thought, well, we'll call it the accessible church. But that sounds like the church for just the handicapped, doesn't it? I mean, yeah. So we're working on it. We don't know what to call it. But essentially, we're going to push the church out to you. And by the way, it's a 3-year vision. This won't happen tomorrow. But we're going to get started, and we're going to take the church to you. And we're going to try to do it in a way, our website, we're going to update our website so that everything we do at Saint Barnabas is on our website and updated and organized in a dynamic, attractive way so that when you're looking for, you're already a member here and you're looking for anything, or you just happen to come to our website very quickly, the architecture will lead you to, do you want to know about children? Do you want to know about youth? Do you want to know about spirituality? Do you want to know about mission and outreach? Do you want to know about senior ministry, that is ministry with the last stage of life? We're going to try to create a hierarchy and organize it and make it dynamic with pictures and videos so that they used to say get everything you can in 3 clicks, right? How many of you heard that? Yeah, it's not real, but within 5 clicks and 10 seconds you can get where you want to go. And again, that lends to the whole notion of simplicity within the complexity, that you can get to what makes you feel connected quickly and easily, and you can feel connected just because the data is so accessible for what you want. That's our vision. Thank you. Somebody said, wow, thank you. Yeah, it's not easy. But you know, isn't that the church we want? Yeah, I mean, isn't it? We're all about being connected. We're all about being connected. And life is fragmenting us everywhere. Why not dream a dream of a church that holds us, that reaches out into our life right where we are and holds us and connects us to our God and to our faith community. And this then becomes the simplicity that makes sense of all of life. Isn't that the vision we want? The other thing is about this is don't stop talking to us. So in addition to be powerful to get what you want, don't stop telling us when it's not working. Let's let the season of discernment never be over. Now you understand there's ways to report things. You do understand this, right? There are ways to report things. And we need you. We need you to report to us like you love us. And we need you to report to us. Just let me take one example for you. Probably the greatest challenge we have is knowing you are ill and you need us to come see you. Now I'm going to say 2 things about this. First one is, lots of our members remember the days when the rector saw everybody, that we don't live in that church anymore. If you get it in your mind that if the rector doesn't come see you, the church hasn't come to see you, we can't deliver on that expectation. We can come be with you. Your church wants to come be with you. But we can't if we don't know that you're ill. And if you tell us and we don't come, tell us that. Of all the things that grieve my heart, if someone is ill or in the hospital and they've told us and we didn't come see you, you will get the rector when that happens. Because I'll do everything I can to come and say, forgive me. Because it's my job to create the culture in which everybody gets visited. That's my job. Our culture is no one suffers alone. That's one of our values, and it's my job to create that culture. If we drop that ball, please tell us and let us come see you. Okay? Okay. Secondly, and this what I'm going to say about this covers lots of territory. But we want to initiate a whole new approach to doing ministry. And we want to call it, in my heart, it's ministry, development, and mentoring. You understand you are the ministers, right? I've already said that. You're the church, you're the ministers. We want to start a program in which we're going to mentor and develop all the people that serve teams at Saint Barnabas. In whatever capacity you're a servant of one of the teams, we're going to start gathering and do some development and mentoring in how you serve your teams, how to be welcoming, how not to drop balls when we report someone's interested in doing this, that, or the other thing, how to lead a meeting, how to recruit people. When you recruit people, what's the job description? How do you create that job description? How do you care for and communicate for the people on your team? How do we be a welcoming, inviting, open, warm, friendly community? By the way, you told us over and over again that's who we were, but some of you said, not for me. You know, a lot of times you didn't hear that, but I did. We'd be at one of our gatherings, and people would report what a warm and friendly and joyful and hospitable community we are, and I'd get home and I'd have an email that said, Jim, I didn't want to speak up, but not for me. It wasn't that for me, and so I got a different story. And again, those are reports both about just coming here and meeting us, and then about signing up for something and not being responded to. So we're gonna develop all the people that serve in any capacity and help them understand and be mentored in the ministries that they do. And I'm not sure what that looks like yet. We actually put a date on the calendar, and now I think we have to change it. So, Erica, we're still working on it. And I'll be talking to some of you about, because I don't know, by the way, this is why I cut my teeth early in my priesthood and ministry doing this work. But I'll be talking to some of you about putting that program together. And when we do it, we'll learn from each other in the process. And why not invite everybody? We'll ask all the people who serve to come, but then invite everybody. Come to this. Come learn how to do ministry and be ministers at Saint Barnabas. All right. Questions? By the way, I'm punting when I ask for questions. Tony?
Jim, could I say that you're describing servant leadership?
That's who we intend to be, Tony. Tony says, can he say I'm describing servant leadership? And that's all that we are as servants, isn't it? That's who we intend to be. So, secondly, so first I said be powerful. Be and become powerful. Secondly, be and become responsible. This sort of connects with being powerful and doing ministry. You are the ministers. Take responsibility for the mission of our church. Our mission is to connect people. Just imagine that for a moment. It's first of all for me to feel connected, and then to be sure that people around me feel connected. Connected to God, connected to the community. Join us in becoming and being responsible for that happening, both on any team you're on and then out in the world. So for months now, we've talked about how we share Saint Barnabas, and that's been one of our primary goals. Y'all remember that? How do we share Saint Barnabas? So in addition to communicating to us with our new communication strategy, we want to resource you to communicate with your friends and to make it really easy for you to tell the story of Saint Barnabas. Now, first of all, you can already do that on our Facebook pages, right? You can already like something at Saint Barnabas and share it onto your own Facebook page. How many of you are on Facebook? Okay, I'm asking you, find something on the Saint Barnabas Facebook page that you like. Find something that you know, there's a little button you press like. Come on, how many of you are on Facebook? Raise your hands again, please. Please, please, please. Okay, do you know that if just 10 of you like something, like 25,000 people see it? I mean, it's remarkable what happens. There's another button. You can press share. And that even more extends the message and communicate with us. If you don't like what's on our Facebook page, if you look on our Facebook page and you say, look, I just scrolled through the whole month, there is nothing I like and nothing I want to share, tell us. Well, kindly, Phyllis. Tell us kindly. There's no, yeah, there is an unlike button, actually. Gwen. Thank you. Gwen just said she hasn't been able to get St. Barnabas on her Facebook page. Thank you for communicating. Would you send me an email so that I can get back to you, and I'll show you how? Good enough? Okay, so I'm glad you asked that question. Little aside, we're going to do computer classes. I'm serious. We're going to hold classes that help you use your computer and connect with us. We're going to show you where all the links are where you can connect with St. Barnabas. Okay? So that's part of that strategy. So there's recommend also. There's recommend. That's right. There's lots of options on Facebook. You know, this is your church. That Facebook page is your page. You love your church. That's why you're here. You told us it's this place of joyful imperfection. Let's make it better. Okay. Help us get stuff on our Facebook page that you're excited to share. Nancy. Okay, I'll repeat all that for you. See, Nancy's already given us feedback. This is what we need. Nancy said it used to be that you could go on our website to get to our Facebook page, and you didn't have to be on Facebook yourself to get to our Facebook page, because you could access this via our website, and apparently that no longer exists. Can that be changed? We'll see. We'll look into it to see if it can be changed.
If people who are asking questions stand up and state their full name, so maybe we can
Okay.
connect with people that we don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Phyllis. So, Nancy, would you stand up? This is Nancy Harvey, everybody. Thank you, Nancy. Good suggestion. Gwen, would you please stand up? Come on. This is Gwendolyn Carlson. Those who know her affectionately as Gwenny. Thank you. All right. Good suggestion, Phyllis. Phyllis Rector. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, Roland.
When you were talking, Jimmy, what came to my mind? You have a group of people in an orchestra. Each one has different talent. They're prepared. They're ready to perform. You have a bunch of actors. They've got their script. They're ready to perform. You got a flight group, like I've been saying. You've been trained. You've been equipped. You've got the stuff. I'm Hugh. Christians United Eternally. C-U-E. Christians United for everyone. Hugh. We are on Hugh.
Thank you, Roland. Roland Patak, he just gave us an example of an orchestra leader and a play conductor and and an airplane flight. And basically he said, okay, team, we're on. Right? That's what you said. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, so let's imagine you have a 14-year-old. And okay, let's imagine. Oh, I love it. I love it. Isn't it great to be among friends? Let's imagine you have a 14-year-old, and your 14-year-old participates in Saint Barnabas feeding the homeless, which serving the homeless, which we do here about once a month. And let's imagine that our communication strategy is in place, and you go to the Saint Barnabas website, and there's youth, and you click the youth button, and you go, and there's this wonderful hierarchy of youth activities, including serving Phoenix, and you go to that, and there's a 30-second video of your 14-year-old, which if it's your, but by the way, we would get permission for all of this from the parents, and there's the video of your 14-year-old serving a homeless person a sandwich, and that homeless person says what they always say, thank you, God bless you. And it's your child's first time, and they're almost in tears as they hand sandwich after sandwich, and a homeless person says, thank you, God bless you. Then, that's 10 seconds of the video. Then you come back, the video comes back to church, and the youth are reporting their experience. And there's 20 seconds of young people saying, it's changed my life. It did more for me than I think it did for them when I was serving there. Okay? Now, there's a friend of yours who has a 14-year-old and who says, you know, we've just been looking for a church, and I need to find a place where I can go to church with Susie, and I just don't know, what's going to work for us. And you say, I have something to share with you. May I send you the link? Now, isn't that easy? And you send that link of that 30-second video to your friend for their child, and with the link you say, we're doing that again in 2 weeks at 1 o'clock. Could you come with us? Isn't that easier? By the way, don't people do that for you already? How many people pass stuff forward to you on your email stuff, right? Come on. All the time. So that's just one example of how our intention is to resource us to share Saint Barnabas with the world around us. But again, it means that we have to sort of take a whole other step in saying, I'm the minister. I'm the servant. I'm responsible for the mission of Saint Barnabas to help the world feel connected to God in Christ. Make sense? All right. All right, now that's our communication strategy. I need to jump to several things, so I'm going to run out of time, and I don't want to. So, you asked for new entry points, new ways to get connected and be involved at St. Barnabas. And our vestry spent a lot of time looking over those. And by the way, let me tell you, there were scores of suggestions, if not hundreds, scores on this topic. And the closer we looked, we said, all of this is really here. They just seem not to know it. So again, part of our communication strategy is to be clearer about what's already here and make it available and accessible to you so that you can connect it in those ways. That's not the end, though. We also, we think we want to add a 5 o'clock Friday night worship service. Saturday, I'm sorry, thank you. 5 o'clock Saturday night worship service. And there's lots of things this would give us. It gives us church for folks who can't come on Sunday morning, right? Folks who want to play golf, or folks who have kids in Little League, or well, get more Roman Catholics if we start, which would be wonderful. So Saturday night, 5 o'clock. Now that's just, right now, that's a starting image. We're going to do the research and make sure Saturday night's the right night, and we're going to make sure 5 o'clock's the right time. And it also affords us an opportunity to do some different music. This is one of the greatest challenges for a church like Saint Barnabas. You love, love, love our music, and some of you would like a greater variety and a greater breadth in our music. So we're hoping that a Saturday night 5 o'clock service will give us a chance to still be who we are musically, but add a greater breadth of worship and music, and maybe be a little bit on the edges of who we are for music. But all of that is exploratory. We're exploring it, but that's what we intend to do. You asked about music for youth, and last Sunday we launched. Is Paul here? Paul was here. Okay, I'm sure he's working. Were you there, Erica? Who was there for the youth music? Kate. Kate. Great. So it's music and drama we started with, right?
It's all forms. So it's vocal, instrumental, acting, all forms of the arts.
Okay, this is our youth minister, Kate Fimbrays. I got it right for once. And we had like 15 or 20 young people there Sunday. Close? 10 young people. I know why there were others that couldn't come but signed up. Yes, but couldn't be there at that time. By the way, same thing, right? Well, I want to be a part, but I can't be there. So we're reaching out to connect to them outside of that one time. And I understand they're going to put on a talent show. That's the first project we're going to do as a talent show. Can't wait for that. That's a response to the season of discernment. A lot of you said things about the contemplative life here, and quiet days, and retreats, and centering prayer, and a lot you said things about our campus, and you asked, is there a way we can have more of that than we already have? And one of the suggestions was a labyrinth. So it's our intention to bring a labyrinth back to Saint Barnabas as soon as possible, and to work with the Memorial Garden Board. That, by the way, they don't know this yet because we just decided it, to work with them and see if there's a way to connect a labyrinth to an expansion of the Memorial Garden and the beautiful peacefulness of that. Is it a time to grow that a little bit and connect a labyrinth to it and give us a whole nother venue and way to have serenity and peace and quiet on our campus and serve people, again, getting connected through that prayerful ministry. And if we can't do it, we're not going to let connecting to the Memorial Garden slow us down. It might be staged. We might just do a labyrinth right away and then have our strategy to connect it to the Memorial Garden over time. But we're working on that. Brian?
Actually, I was going to give up the idea for the labyrinth in the Memorial Garden and try to put the album on it. And he's taking care of it, and I'm trying to make that.
All right. But this is, Brian, would you stand up, please? Brian said he was one of the ones that suggested the labyrinth, and he's already started talking to the Memorial Garden Board for us. Bless you, Brian. Thank you. Lots of you said you thought we could do more with our chapel. And so we're working on ways to have more ministry offerings in our chapel. That's a very special, sacred space with its own kind of culture. So we don't want to change that, but we think we can offer more ministry in this beautiful chapel that we have. So we plan to do that. A lot of you said we need to upgrade our playground. That's on the docket to improve our playground. Lots of folks wanted a picture directory. And that's one of those things where, every time you do a picture directory, a week later, people go, it's out of date. And it's an enormous undertaking to do a picture directory. But we thought we could have some fun with the picture directory. What if you emailed us the picture you wanted? Right? Instead of us coming here and taking everybody's picture, what if you sent us a picture? If it's the weather ups, you're going to be all in your ski stuff, right, in New York. And, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be a whole lot of fun to have a picture directory that's all about us in our lives and the things that we do in our families and our cats and our dogs and our turtles and our snakes and all that stuff in our... Wouldn't that be cool? Okay. So that we hope to do that. Exactly. That's our intent. That's challenging, though, because you have to have passwords and et cetera. So every time you start, a week later. But anyway, that's our intention. And we heard a lot about men's ministry. We've said a lot about men's ministry, right? We've been saying that. And we heard a lot more in the season of discernment. We still don't know what to do. I just want to be upfront and personal with you about this. I would ask our senior warden, not to mention any names, Craig Weather, up to stand, because it's his bailiwick, but I don't want to embarrass him. He's willing to stand. God bless you. Craig is saying we're working on it. And by the way, we're doing research. We visited with several organizations that do men's ministry in the valley, and we are researching. It's not an easy thing to just make happen. We want to be smart about it, and we want to do it right, but we're working on that. So let me recap briefly. What we've said is we have a communication problem, and I've shared with you our number one response to that is to upgrade all of our communications, particularly digital media. We also are already working on our written publications, and we're trying to upgrade those and make them more effective. We continue to work on them. I've already said how the staff is going to respond to you. The staff are the CCO, Chief Communications Officer. Every staff member, it says Kate Fimbrace, Youth Minister, Communications Officer, Chief Communications Officer. We're all going to take that on and ask you to meet us halfway. Secondly, we're saying let's all take responsibility for the mission of our church. Let's all be disciples and ministers. And I've said how we hope to prepare you and equip you and enrich you so that you can do that more effectively and more fruitfully. And then I've talked about the Saturday night. Don't you love it? We came back, Ann, just what we wanted. I talked about, what did I say, Saturday night, youth, labyrinth, chapel, playground. By the way, I forgot signs. We're working on some better signage. Lots of you said we could improve our signs. Photo directory, men, and entry points, especially with just doing a better job of communicating what we already have. So be and become disciples. Be powerful. Be and become disciples. Take responsibility for our mission. The place that you love, what you told us over and over, we love our church and we want more of it. Okay, join us in being more who we are. Then the last thing I want to say is be disciples by being generous. Now, I almost never talk about our financial needs at Saint Barnabas. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But mostly, I only want to talk about finances in relationship to the broader picture of stewardship and to being faithful members and being disciples. I don't like talking about finances with respect to balancing the budget or what I would call fundraising. Because in the church, it's really about discipleship and stewardship is what finances are about. So I want to say to you that to be the church we're dreaming, we need to increase our giving. That's going to happen for us, for things to really develop and change in the way that we're talking about. We probably need a little bit more staff. I said I was going to come back to that. We might need to add one or at most two staff members. I'm really hoping we can add another priest and that priest could help us with, would be a young person who could really help us with all the electronic media I'm talking about. But we're going to need to increase our giving to be the church you've dreamed we could become. Now let me just pause for a moment. Part of my challenge in reporting back to you is to, first of all, to give enough detail that you hear we really heard you. And secondly, not to give so much detail you don't actually sort of see a dream. But what I'm saying is the dream of a church that is in your world, wherever you are, that's right there, resourcing you to be connected to God and connected to your church. And remember, feeling connected Humanity is hardwired to feel connected. To be connected to Jesus is to be brought to peace. To be connected to Jesus is to be aligned in yourself. It touches the hard wiring of the way God made us. So imagine this dream of a church that connects you wherever you are, that hears you say, this is how I want to connect, and both invites you to come be with us, of course, but then also pushes the resources of feeling connected right into your world. That's the dream. And that's what I am so excited about. And then around that is tweaking what we already have so that it's there for you and all the ways that we are already our church with the few ads that I've suggested. Do you get it? Daryl,
This will be on our
stand up. Yes. This presentation? Yes.
And you will invite everybody in church to view it?
Yes, I will.
That was a question, but
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you. That's our intention. We presume the recording is working, Pat Dodds. Thank you very much. I might want to edit a couple of things. No, I'm just kidding. So, right now, our annual giving is about $1.5 million for our pledges and our loose plate offering. It's been about there for several years. We need to grow that by about 15%. Now, one of the things I've left out to now is that we have some significant deferred maintenance on our campus. And actually, if I can say it this way, there's good news about that because we love our campus and we love our mission. So year after year, what happens is the resources go to more ministry, more mission, but the buildings and the grounds get left behind, and they've been left behind for so long that we have some significant needs for our buildings. So what we really need is for our giving to grow by about 15%. We need to go from $1.5 million to $1,750,000. And we really need that for next year for sure, but we actually need it for this year. So I'll be taking checks in church this morning. Again, I come back to mission. I want the vision and the mission to inspire you. And the whole notion of being a disciple, being powerful, being empowered to get what you need to be connected, taking responsibility to get connected and to help everyone else get connected and to take our story out into the world and then be generous. Be generous so that we can be this church we intend to be. In addition to our annual budget, our foundation has grown recently. It's gone from about $2 million to $2.5 million in the last several years. But it really needs to be about $6 million. That's what we need for our foundation to provide a level of stability for us to carry on this vision of being church. So in the coming months, and especially as we prepare for next year's stewardship program, our senior warden, Craig Weatherup, and our new chair for our annual pledge campaign, Jim Berg, they're going to be talking with us and communicating with us more frequently and more specifically about how we can participate and how we can be generous, and both with respect to our annual budget and with respect to our foundation. Anything else you want to add to that? Okay. We have just about 3 minutes. Are there any questions? Especially, is anyone sitting there saying they didn't hear me?
I heard.
Did we hear you? That's my question. I'm going to hear you now. Okay.
Okay, my only question about not the first one, but the church, the online
Yes.
is that I know how it is. I call myself a slacktivist. I don't know. Does anybody know what a slacktivist is?
Keep talking. I'm going to get you a microphone.
Okay. All right.
But you just got about 60 seconds, Alice.
All right. A slacktivist is somebody that does their activism online. Just a click Oh, okay, I support this. Click, I support that. It's real easy. You don't have to leave your chair. So that's the concern I have if we make our online church so easy that people don't have to bring their asses to church.
We'll edit that out, okay?
Don't do that. Talking to everybody. So, I just want to make sure that there's some way that I just want to make sure that we have some way to actually have people understand that to really experience things like contemplation,
Yes.
etc., be here.
Both, Alice. We're going to, yeah, thank you for that. You know, I didn't say a lot. I'm willing to risk that if we take the church to you, you'll come to us. I'm willing to roll those dice. I do not think doing this, I think it'll make you more connected. And I think it'll make you want to come be with us. So both and, Alice, both and. All right? Anybody else? Denise. Say your name, please.
Denise Muller. Good morning, everyone. I guess my question is with communications and about programs and ministries, how does the church ensure that those programs and people connecting to ministries cross-pollinate so that different ministries aren't operating in silos unto themselves?
Okay. You know, the answer to that, so did you all hear her? Okay. The answer to that is complicated because there is no way to ensure that everybody knows everything. Everything will be there, and and when you come, we hear stories and reports, and we do that. But there's a part of that is not a bad thing because there's this complex organization with all this going on, and everybody can't know everything. So again, get what you want. Find what you want to feel connected, be a part of the community, and hopefully that'll create some cross-pollination. Okay?
Just quickly, on our website, will you post a needs list and a wants list that's just simple? This is what we need. You're saying we need finances. This is what we need. This is what we want. So that it's not a bunch of numbers and figures, just we need a new front door.
It's an idea. It'll be in the upcoming newsletter, and as part of our website, we'll take that under advisement, Gwenny.
Okay.
I can't promise, but we hear you. Okay? I think it's a great idea, but let's just see.
Thank you.
I like that a lot. Keba.
I'm Keba Buckley Button, and I'm interested in peace ministry. Am I the only person who mentioned peace ministry and said I'm willing to do the work of bringing it to Saint Barnabas?
Yes.
Okay.
That I'm aware of. That I'm aware of. But that doesn't mean we can't talk, because I like the notion of peace ministry. I know that. I know that. Thank you. Keba has a peace ministry program. I'll be very brief about it. A peace ministry program that she would like to see us have at Saint Barnabas. And she did report that, and I've not responded to it today. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you. Anybody else? Will. Stand up, please.
My name's Will Walker, and this morning on TV, Words of Wisdom from Thomas Edison. Vision without execution is hallucination.
Now, would you stand up again? You said that because you thought you heard a good strategy for execution, or because you didn't think you heard that?
Vision without execution is hallucination.
Thank you, Will.
That was up to all of us. When you said last week
Yes.
in your sermon,
It's up to all of us.
you said for lit, you just had to be in.
That's right.
But in your sermon last week, you said, what would this church be if I'm all in?
All in.
So
All in.
It's all about execution.
So I got to stop the comments. I'm going to say one last thing. Don't you want a church that becomes the center of your life? So I say it a little differently. Don't you want Jesus or God or the Holy Trinity to be the center of your life? And don't you want a faith community that holds that for you? Let's go become that church together. Let's be all in to become that church. Amen. Thank you.